right in a big puddle. This is a series I've done before and I want to start doing it again. It's just a quick 9. It's going to be a 9-minute video just talking about things going on in the disc golf world. And starting off today is something that I'm super excited about. Brody Smith has a podcast called Tour Life with Paul Uliberry, and they started having a stats section. They've got a guy, Edwin, who apparently is doing stats, and it makes me super happy. He's got some good graphics, and I just am super excited that other disc golfers like myself are finally getting into the stats side of the game and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So I'm super excited. If you haven't checked out the last couple of podcasts Brody's put out or on their Twitter, he's sharing stuff. I don't know if Edwin has his own channel or his own Twitter or anything like that, but I'm hoping so because I would love to see more stuff from him. He's doing a great job. All right, about 100 feet out. Yeah, first thing, shout out Edwin for doing the stats in the first place. 2, thank you for Brody for putting somebody on who's doing stats in the community. We need more of it, so thank you. Next up, we have a big one, Eagle, going to MVP. Everybody kind of suspected it, but now that it's done, it's kind of a big deal. This is one of the manufacturer signings that I think is really, really important for the game of disc golf. Now, I've been on record saying that I don't really care about signings because truthfully, I haven't seen them make a huge impact on somebody's game, but I did a bit of research on James Conrad and Simon Lizotte changing to MVP. I have a video out. I'll put a card up in the corner, wherever, and go check that out. Interesting stuff, and it's going to be fun watching Eagle play this year to see if he had a similar change to his game. But we're finally to the point with stats that we can track how somebody's game changed from manufacturer to manufacturer. Right? All right, let me know. Do you like the walk and talk better, or do you like it when I have things set up in front of my disc? I find walking and talking more comfortable, but if it's hard to understand me, hard to see my face, those things I understand. So if you would rather me sit and chat with you for a couple of seconds before I throw, let me know. No way! I've aced 3 times. 2 of them are this disc on this hole. What in the world? All right, so that is hole 4 out here at Oregon State Hospital course. Westside Gatekeeper. Wow. That is insane. And I had witnesses and a camera. Oh man. hole 6. Got to go up across the tennis courts, over to the left, throwing my bottom stamp right. Along the lines of people switching manufacturers, Brody and others talking on Twitter about if the Disc Golf Pro Tour should be like announcing these changes. And there were some good points, a couple of things that I thought were kind of weird. I'll tell you after this shot. So a lot of people talked about how in other sports, the league doesn't necessarily announce when somebody gets a new shoe sponsorship. They more talk about trades between the teams. Well, disc golf, you don't really have teams, and so the manufacturers are set up as teams. And that's why it's kind of a weird dynamic. The Disc Golf Pro Tour needs to be doing everything they can to get eyeballs on the sport. And if that means talking about your big name players, switching manufacturers, throwing new plastic, I'm all for it. It is a little weird because they aren't teams, and so I mean there's no real bearing on the Pro Tour from a point standpoint or competitive advantage standpoint until we have more stats. But bottom line, Disc Golf Pro Tour needs to put out posts, put out content to grow the sport. If your biggest names changing sponsorships helps out grow the sport, post away. Now, the one thing that Disc Golf Pro Tour can't do is post some manufacturers' changes and not other manufacturer changes. Because if there's any sort of favoritism, well, that's a problem. Last thing that I wanted to talk about today, Crunchy Disc Golf put out on Twitter a good question. He said, any random you give them 4 discs to go play a tournament with, what 4 discs are you giving them? And they all have to be different manufacturers. Comment down below what you think. I'll tell you my 4 in the next couple of times. Woo! I love that striker. So Crunchy's a great follow on Twitter. Go check him out. My first disc, PA3 from Prodigy with the soft plastic. I bagged one for a long time when I first started. It just felt so comfortable in my hand. And like, comfort more than anything, I feel, for amateurs, for any disc golfer, truly. But Prodigy PA3. Okay, but that was smashed. That is by far my best drive on this hole. Holy moly. I am parked behind a tree though. So putter, PA3, great for putting, great for throwing. Next up, crazily enough, is actually the West Side Gatekeeper that I just aced with. So I got a Gatekeeper in my very first starter set. Gatekeeper has been in my bag since day one, basically. And I now have 2 aces with the Gatekeeper. It is a 4.502, and it's just smooth. Just feels good. I don't know, but very steady. I feel like every single Gatekeeper I pick up is the exact same. Very consistent disc. So that's number 2. Woo! I don't know if I've ever actually birdied this hole before. Was that a first time birdie? Man, today is crazy. Thank you guys for coming along for one of the wildest rounds of disc golf I've ever been a part of. So thank you. So I used to do these quick 9 videos at home. It's just a quick 9-minute video that I could just talk for 9 minutes. But I was like, you know what, today, let's go out, play a quick 9 and do the quick 9 segment. and look what happened. All right, so last 2 discs as part of the 4 set. The river. It is super glidey. If you get that thing up flat, that thing's gonna go forever with very little effort. So Latitude 64 river, great disc. Last up, driver. Last up for the driver, I'm going with a Streamline Jet. This disc was like my max distance disc for a very long time. It's just slightly understable, so it's easier to get up to flat than a lot of those like O2s. So Streamline Jet, I'm gonna throw it here on hole 9, give you guys a look at what it's like. And I slipped and didn't do it justice, so I'm sorry. Well, that was to prove I'm human. So just to go over PA3, Westside Gatekeeper, Latitude 64 River, and the Streamline Jet. I feel like they're just comfortable discs, consistent discs, and require low effort to get what they're supposed to do. Basket is up behind the 2 trees in the tennis court. I'm gonna go suspect. There you go, nice little ground play. Circle 1 putt to finish the day. So the goal for these quick 9s was to get a 9-minute video. Because some of the podcasts out there, I mean, Brody Smith is talking to an hour and a half to 3 hours. I don't have that time. We're all busy lives. We'd rather be out disc golfing. So I'm gonna try to edit this down to 9 minutes. We'll see if I can get there. This might not make the cut. Well, thank you for coming along for a quick 9.